Hello everybody, it's October 2nd, so it's back to the scary month again. And like last year, can't promise I'm going to do it every night, but we're going to start our Halloween readings again. So the first one we're going to do is Nightmare Before Christmas. Alright, so it starts out, a crowd of creatures stood waiting in the center of Halloween Town, where Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King, arrived. They cheered, celebrated another successful spooky holiday. Great Halloween, everyone, the mayor said as the group quieted down. I believe it was our most frightful yet, Jack added. Thank you, everyone. But Jack soon left the party, joining his ghost dog Zero in the quiet graveyard. After so many Halloweens, he was growing bored of the same old thing. Sally, a ragdoll creature by scientist Dr. Frankenstein, watched Jack wander through the graves. She understood how he felt. She also wanted more in life. But Dr. Frankenstein refused to set her free. And there's Sally hiding behind the gravestone. Jack walked all night with Zero, going deep into the woods. He came to a clearing surrounded by several large trees, each with different colored prints on them. Different doors, different large trees, each with different doors painted on them. What is this? Jack wondered out loud. He was most curious about the door with a pine tree symbol. He opened the door and was swept up by a strong gust of wind. The wind pulled Jack down into the darkness. Jack landed on a snowy hill above a town filled with colorful lights and joyful sound. He was thrilled. There were so many new things for him to see, from snow falling to people singing songs. A large man shouted, "Ho, ho, ho!" Jack thought he heard the man being called Santa Claus. Jack learned that he was in a place called Christmas Town. Jack returned to Halloween Town and told everyone about his adventure. While people were excited to hear about the unusual Sandy Claus, they didn't understand the strange, scary holiday Jack described. After weeks of learning all he could about Christmas, Jack made an announcement. This year, Christmas will be ours, he shouted. Everyone cheered, except Sally. She picked up a weed in Jack's yard. Except Sally, she picked a weed in Jack's yard, which had grown into a Christmas tree, and then caught fire. Considering that the bad omen, Sally expected Jack's plan to end horribly, but because she loved him, she vowed to do her best to help him succeed. Preparing for Preparations for Christmas were underway in Halloween Town, and everyone was pitching in. Dr. Frankenstein made skeleton reindeer, and ghouls decorated the square, and despite his reservation, Sally sewed Jack his own Santa Claus suit. Jack called on Lock, Stock, and Barrel for a top secret job. They ran into Christmas Town and kidnapped Santa Claus. Jack needed Santa Claus out of the way so he could deliver the presents this year. Jack told the trio to make Santa Claus comfortable, but instead they took him to their boss, Oogie Boogie, the villain who loved to cause chaos. Soon it was Christmas Eve, and Jack was ready to spread joy. "We're off," he shouted in excitement. Shouting an excited crowd. With Zero leading the coffin sleigh, Jack shouted into the sky. But the scary toys Jack delivered were not at all what the children expected. Instead of joy, Jack's presence spread fear through the world. As the residents of Halloween Town watched Jack through the witching cauldron, Sally worried that something would go wrong. She knew what she had to do. "Where'd they take that Santa Claus?" she shouted, and left to find him. While Jack flew home, spotlights shone on him and explosions went off all around. They're thanking us for doing such a good job, Jack told Zero. But he quickly learned they were trying to blast him out of the sky. Jack's sled was damaged, and it fell to the ground, landing in the graveyard. At first, Jack was disappointed. Everything had gone wrong despite his good intentions. But then he realized that he had wanted to do something wonderful. He had also been trying to be something he was not. He realized cheered him. Realization cheered him. He was ready to be the Pumpkin King once more. He vowed to make next year's Halloween the best ever, but this night wasn't done. "Come on, Zero," Jack said, heading back to Halloween Town. "Christmas isn't over yet." Back in Halloween Town, Jack raced to Oogie Boogie's lair, and he was shocked to find not only Santa Claus but also Sally. They were both tied up and in danger. Jack was touched that Sally had tried so hard to help him. Jack freed the pair, but then they were trapped by Oogie Boogie. "How dare you treat my friends so shamefully?" Jack shouted. He was able to pull a loose thread of Oogie Boogie burlap sack body until he fell apart, and all the bugs that made up Oogie Boogie scattered everywhere. Jack apologized to Santa Claus for what he had done. "I hope there's still time," he said, "to fix Christmas, Santa Claus." Or Santa Claus asked. "Of course there is. I am Santa Claus." And with a little magic, Santa floated away to save the holiday. While everyone celebrated Jack's return, Santa Claus flew overhead and brought snow to Halloween Town for the first time. Later, Jack found Sally in the graveyard and took her hand. He was happy that things were back to the way they were meant to be. That was tonight's first reading. I hope you enjoyed it. So until we see each other again for the next one, bye-bye for now.